Hello and welcome back to another episode of the FUTBIN podcast. My name is Richard Buckley, your gaffer, stepping up to the mic this week alongside, as always, my navigator in the centre of midfield, Mr. Matt Foot Trading. Welcome back. We've been bigging this up for a little while now. We've been predicting ratings. We finally got some ratings, and that is what this episode is going to be all about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's only 1 week to go now, isn't it? So we're getting those ratings through. Debating whether we go back and look at some of our predictions because we're on the money with some of them, but some of them I think are a little bit higher, some a little bit lower than we expected. But that's what it's all about this time of year, isn't it, Rich?
Absolutely is. And we've got a very special guest joining us this week, a content creator, a fantastic football player, and good friend of ours, Mr. Plute. Welcome to the pod, giving all your thoughts on FC26 and the ratings coming up.
Too kind, mate. Thank you. I'm excited. Should be good.
Shall we, without any further ado, let's just jump into it. We didn't get everything. We got a sample. I think this is what we expected, Matt. As of recording right now, we're about 2 weeks away from certain creators getting their hands on the game, with the official launch coming the 19th on the early access. Are we going to get drip-fed more ratings, or there was the leak, so to say, of ratings, and a VA just gone, you know what, they're already out there, have them. Can we expect that maybe?
I don't know if we'll get necessarily that much in terms of official ratings from EA, but they put out over the weekend, didn't they? The sort of partnered clubs, things like that. We already got some of those through yesterday at time of recording. So we got the Juventus ratings through, AS Roma, Napoli. So I would imagine sort of today on the 9th of September as we're recording this, most likely, some La Liga, Premier League, Bundesliga clubs coming out and officially revealing their players. But yeah, we've got top 100. There's a lot to go through there. So
let's crack on. Let's get on with it. So as you can see here, we have opened up FUTBIN. I've cycled this to non-icons. We knew the icons. We knew ratings we were getting sort of with that. So we're on FC26, Ultimate Team 26. We've got 4 91 rated gold items. Mohamed Salah, the first player, coming up alongside Mbappe, and then you've got Bonmati and Putellas. It were rumoured, innuendoed, predicted by yours truly that Mohamed Salah would be 91 rated. Are you surprised that they went all in on Salah?
No, to be honest, I think, Salah, the numbers talk, don't they? Everyone talks about the numbers with Salah. I mean, he's done it in the Premier League for like 8 years in a row now, 30-odd goals and assists every year, and I think I'll be honest, I thought last year Salah would have his first year of decline because of his age. He's getting older and he's ended up having like his best season ever. So I think it's only right that 91, him and Mbappe, I can't really argue it. I think he deserves it after what he's done in the Premier League. As much as I'm not a massive Salah fan, but I think you can't argue it.
Stats-wise, and I'm sure we're going to talk about this a lot, Matt, out of a lot of the players, those stats sort of look like a 91 when you look at the actual, especially the face item stats. Mm-hmm. 89 pace, 88 shooting, 86 dribbling, 86 passing, 90 dribbling, 76 physical. 3-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves, to be expected, I think. I didn't know if they'd maybe give him 4-star weak foot with the inclusion of a +2 rating, joint highest player on the game, but he just doesn't use his right foot. So it's hard to do that. But when you saw this as an item, as a 91, were you surprised when you actually took a deeper dive into the stats?
It's always that age-old meme, I feel like, isn't it, when we get these ratings? People say, how can he be 91 rated when he hasn't got a 91 face stat? I think, we obviously need to delve a little bit more into the in-game stats. Maybe play styles have some impact on that as well, you might say. He's got really, really premium play styles for early in the game. Finesse plus, low driven, game changer, and inventive. So, technical as well. So, it looks like one of the best cards in the game early on. I think if you're looking for a right winger, maybe Dembele
Well,
gets close, but
I think that's where we sort of wanted to go as well, for me at least, because we do have some really, really top tier items, obviously, in the game. This upgrade on Dembele, I think Bonmati, Pates, and Mbappe, you're going to get more of the same from FC25. Mbappe,
Yeah.
he's going to be quick. He's going to get in behind. He's going to have an elite finishing. He's probably going to be the most expensive gold on the game. Bonmati, Pateas, especially with the better dribbling now and the passing, you're going to be able to cut people open. This Dembele is the one for me that I was like, okay, now we're talking. This is serious. This is a comfortable million coin item out of the box here, Plute.
Easy. And the thing with Dembele is, even when he was 83 rated in the older FIFAs, when he wasn't as consistent, he's still a meta card, 5-star, 5-star. And now, I mean, look, he's got crazy agility, but it's his finishing. Dembele's, for me, has also been so inconsistent with his passing and his finishing. Now he's got the dribbling and the pace, which he's always had, but he's got 90 finishing, I believe. Yeah, 90 finishing, 91 shot power, which I think is really important. At the start of the game, I think shot power was really important. And I didn't expect him to have that good shooting. I thought he'd have the good creativity, but shooting, 88. He's going to be a cheat code, mate.
76 stamina. Obviously, we had a few changes with Stam and whatnot. Is this a false 90, Matt, or is this a true 90? That's a question I'm going to ask a lot.
I think that's more than a true 90. I think if there's any player that's going to be sort of pushing Mbappe for the most expensive gold sort of award, I think it's going to be this. Rapid plus and quick step with low driven. Ooh, I don't know. I think as well he's kind of got that. Everyone expects Mbappe at that top level. They expect the Mbappes, the Vinnies, the Pateas kind of cards. I think Dembele being up there potentially even pushes his price higher because he's that sort of new shiny toy, so to speak, isn't he, Plute?
I think hype definitely will bring his price up even more. And I can already picture him doing one of the new celebrations against me. You know, the old Henri face. Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared.
Or the griddy, if you've unlocked it. At 76.
I'm sure a question that people are going to ask a lot is he a striker or is he a right winger? I don't think he's a cam, personally, with the lack of passing play styles that you get in here right off the gate. You've got pinged and that's it, really. No tiki-taka, no incisive, no long ball. For me, it's probably a winger.
I think either, but I think probably strongest on the wing. It'll be interesting to see which sort of meta is overpowered at the start of the game. Like, if the low driven's really good from out wide, he could be unbelievable. But I don't know. What do you reckon, Matt? Better a striker or on the wing?
I would go striker just because he has low driven. If he had finesse or game changer for either a finesse or potentially a Trivela from out wide, I might be going more towards out on the right. But I think he's going to be able to do either one very, very easily. I think even in cam, 89 short passing, 84 vision, it's enough in the early game to do a job, isn't it?
Let's ask a question then that I'm sure you're going to get a lot over the next few weeks. Price prediction on this Dembele for an item like this. The prices are always weird. Like a lot of the time, gold items especially fall off a cliff after week one, and you're getting stuff super cheap. But there's certain players that maintain their value.
Yeah.
I just can't see with an item like this, with 5-star, 5-star, with the versatility of playing off the wing or down the middle, with good links. PSG are one of arguably the best team in the world. France is always the go-to nation. Like, this to me is at least a 500k gold until Christmas.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Matt's more of an expert on the market side of things, but as you said, new shiny toy, a massive upgrade on what we've seen before. 5-star, 5-star, rapid, low-driven play styles, quick step as well. We all know how good Dembele is. Even when he was 83 rated, he was still going for 50 odd K, 100k sometimes at the start of the game. I'm going to go bold. I honestly think in the first month he's going to be over 2 million coins. I think he's going to be that high. I think he'll be just a tier. He might even compete with Mbappe. I think that is that good a card.
Yeah, I was trying to, just as you were chatting about, I was trying to look at some of the prices from 25, and Mbappe was multi-million coin card, 3 mil plus. I think it could be a little bit different this year. 2,000 FC points per player could potentially bring down that early game market a little bit, but I think I would agree with that sort of 2 million price range. I think that is realistically what we could be expecting here. Let's not forget as well PSG links.
Yeah,
we'll get onto, I'm sure, Hakimi, Pacho.
I mean, I'm going to go into it. Like, let's jump ahead quickly. That team right there, we've not even got all the ratings. There'll be some great players coming in underneath that. Fabian Ruiz or João Neves. We've not even got ratings for those guys yet. But you've got a fullback, a right back, a left back, 2 centre halves, a striker, a winger. Like, you can basically build a full PSG team. You get Zlatan as your pre-order, you are off to the races. Like,
yeah, good luck with that.
If that one person watching this video gets Zlatan.
Yeah, someone will.
Some of these ratings are incredible. Hakimi at 89 rated.
I mean, am I right in saying that he is the highest rated gold right back we've ever seen in FC or FIFA? I think, again, he's going to be silly money. The top meta players, the pros, they're all going to have Hakimi and Dembele, guaranteed.
So I saw a lot of conversation about this, and people on social media saying, well, he's 89 rated. Look at those stats. Like, how is that an 89 rated item? But when you actually do have a deeper dive into it, it's just so well rounded. Like, we thought Theo Hernandez was good this year.
Yeah. And
Theo Hernandez had a long lifespan. You're coming out of the box with Relentless Plus, which could end up being a pretty, a fairly strong play style this year.
For fullbacks, it's going to be,
absolutely,
especially early game, massively important.
Low driven, he gets inside the box. You put him, I think the new role as well, where you can sort of put him as a 10. Like, you can invert him in. He can shoot. He can defend, anticipate silver, jockey, press proven on the ball, quick step, as well as 92 pace, whipped pass, he can cross, like 4-star. He's got everything, Matt, to be.
And he's even got good
tier.
Physicals.
Yeah.
Which shocks me.
95 stam with Relentless Plus. Like, he is going to be playing to those stats for the full 90, isn't he? So, yeah, I was just thinking as well, back to, Theo Hernandez last year and sort of his price consistently above sort of 500,000 coins until November, really. I think Hakimi, I don't want to say could be the first million coin fullback, because that just sounds alien to me for first sort of month of the game, but easily 500,000.
I think he could be pushing that, early game. Just purely, again, the hype around the card. I think the hype around PSG in general. I like what they've done with the ratings this year, where they've gone more off of form. Usually a player has to play so good for so many years to get a top rating. Hakimi, don't get me wrong, he's been great over the years, but after one massive, unbelievable season, they really boosted him, and they've done that with a lot of the PSG players.
I think trying to read between the lines a little bit, you look at, there wasn't an international tournament this year, which usually I think impacts quite a lot on ratings.
Yeah, true.
We had a Champions League, which PSG dominated, and the way that they won that final, you have to put so much credit into the ratings on that final. Like, it was one of the most dominant football matches I've ever seen. Like, they dismantled them in the final. So there has to be a boosting ratings on that. And I think you're probably looking at every PSG player, what rating they might have had in May, all got a +2. Like, that's just how I see it. Like, I think Dembele will probably come in at maybe an 88, 89, give him the 90. Vitinha, there's no way Vitinha out of the box, when they were doing those ratings earlier in the year, was 89 rated. And then you have to bump them up. You just have to. 2 more players on PSG that I want to talk about. The first one, another fullback, Nuno Mendes, similar to Hakimi in what he can offer you. He's a little bit better defensively, in my opinion. I think he's probably a little bit more sturdy. He doesn't have the attacking capabilities of Hakimi, but if you can get those two as your fullbacks within the first month of the game, you're set for a long time, Matt. This is an item which just screams meta.
Oh, absolutely. I think if you can dump 1 million coins on your fullbacks, then fair play to you, because I think that's what you're looking at to get those two on either side. But yeah, it's just jockey, anticipate Silva, rapid and quick step again. I think roles will be maybe one of the key factors. Do we expect both Nuno and Hakimi to have fullback? Probably not. Maybe more sort of attacking wing back. So could sort of lend itself to that style a little bit more. And again, that's where maybe the meta comes into play. Like, can you use those sort of fullbacks bombing on like you would see in real life, or do you need maybe a little bit more defensive to maybe counter Dembele on the other team? So,
can you imagine if we see a 3-5-2 meta or like a 5-back meta?
Oh,
these guys
to
are
left
just
mid
going to
and right
be silly
mid.
money.
Take me back.
One final player with PSG that I want to speak about. Obviously, we know Vitinha, Dembele, Hakimi are all going to be fantastic. This time last year, Pacho wasn't even a name that we were necessarily talking about too much, but he had a fantastic year. And out of all those PSG items, this is the one for me that I just think you're going to see the most. There's not a lot of high-paced defenders, and with Bruiser Plus, 86 defending, 86 physical, 80 pace, this is a champs player. This is a foot champs player that you're going to see a lot.
I'm thinking like gold Kimpembe, gold Varane sort of vibes, because he's going to be more affordable. He's going to be in that meta team. And I agree. I just think first couple months, you're going to see this guy at centre-back in almost every team. I think he's going to be that level of like used in terms of similar to Varane, Kimpembe, these players over the years that have just been so reliable. He's got to anticipate, like you say, Bruiser Plus is very, very helpful. I mean, he's got all the good defensive play styles really for an early game centre-back. And yeah, he's just come out of nowhere. He's gone into that PSG side and he's absolutely smashed it. So I think he does deserve that rating.
I think he'll set you back a little bit, Matt, in those early few weeks and months. But with the level of centre backs, like I saw Mickey van der Ven that had ridiculous pace. So I think he will. It sounds crazy to say, but because he's an 86 walkout, if we get those guaranteed packs where you're guaranteed 86ers, this feels like the sort of player that you might be able to pick up in one of those. If you are opening untradeable packs or you're grinding, this feels like a player that could sneak in there.
Yeah, I think he's also one you've got to be a little bit careful with. I think, he's probably on the more attainable side of the scale compared to the likes of Hakimi, Nuno Mendes. I think very easily, we're talking, probably knocking on the door of a 100k player early on, but he's one of those that I don't think necessarily stays in the team potentially for too long. That might change if the power curve is slightly slower than we've seen in previous years. I don't know if this is like the top end card that people strive for early on. It's probably more the Van Dijks and that. So it might be a card that you get in for 2 to 3 weeks, but could expect his price once we get into October, we start getting those champs rewards to actually fall quite quickly. Yeah, so he's one of those I think that you've got to keep an eye on. But yeah, still very, very good. If you can pick him up in the first few weeks,
I also think
too worried.
With him being from Ecuador, like it might help bring the price down a little bit. Even though he's got those PSG links, I think that'll definitely help.
So,
absolutely.
Going back to the more broader scale of it here, there's loads of players that we could spend 3 hours, being completely honest, talking about these players and dissecting these players and picking up where they left off really in FC25. I'll open up the floor. We can see the page here. Is there anyone that you think that's a player that I really want in my team, or how those stats are incredible. Like, just shoot away.
I'd go Valverde.
Okay.
All 83 plus
Yeah, that's crazy.
stats on card. Are we going to have a new? We had Hullet Gang back in the day. Is there one trying to be created here with Valverde? I don't know. But,
83 plus gang, Valverde gang.
yeah, it doesn't roll off the tongue quite as
Nah.
much. But
I mean, when you look at this item and you look at this player, the big thing for me, it used to be he could play centre mid or right mid. They gave him CDM as a role, as a player as a position he can play. He could never go into DM. You always like, even the team of the season item, I think it was. You couldn't play in DM unless you evoed him in there. Now you can play him DM. Is that his best position for this item? Would you rather have him centre mid? Would you have him right back?
I would play him CDM. I know he's got so much going forward as well, but when you get to that stage later in the game where you've got all these crazy attacking players, I love having a player like Valverde who is incredible at the defensive stuff, but still has the ability going forward. I like them sitting in CDM, and I'm sure he could do box to box, but CDM for me, I think that's amazing, because I always used to get annoyed that he couldn't play CDM, and now I'm like, I need him in my team.
I mean, when you also look at these stats, it says 84 shooting, and this is why you have to look at in-game stats deeper. 59 penalties drags that down. He's got 91 shot power and 91 long shots with power shot silver.
do you know what I'm feeling on this one, Rich? The new CDM box crusher or box crasher, is it? Yeah, that role. I mean, he looks perfectly sort of set up for that, doesn't he? Aerial fortress, can probably win headers, arriving late in the box. Power shot with 91 shot power, 91 long shots. If he gets forward on the edge of the box, he's going to be able to hit him. And he's going to be able to do that all game with Relentless Plus. So,
I haven't even seen that aerial fortress. Is that just a new word for aerial plus, or?
So we've got aerial, which is the more like
Standard.
Yeah, I think it's sort of been redeveloped as aerial fortress, where you can see it right here. It
Nice.
dominates aerial defensive battles, so it's much more situated to the defensive side of it, and making sure that your player in those battles and in those sort of situations is more dominant.
I'm just wondering on that though. So when I read sort of defensive aerial duels, I think any sort of header that's not a shot. Could that be that he's actually really good at knockdowns, for example, in the box? Unless it's, they've somehow coded it to be
only in your defensive thirds, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. So
yeah,
interesting.
It's one of those things that we just have to play, right?
I'm thinking more like when you're ramming circle or B to get a defensive clearance out, they'll be more overpowered then. That's what I'm thinking. Whereas I always find it when you press pass when you're trying to win a header, it never ends well. If you press B, I feel like with that play style, they'll win those 50-50s.
I'm just going to get back from the play styles. I got a bit lost. I'm back. Valverde is serious. Price very quickly on Valverde. What do you think?
Oh, I don't think he pushes a mil, but yeah, we're talking probably 300, 400, 500k. I don't know about
some of
those
these
Madrid links. Like, are we like at the top end? Yeah, obviously Vinny, Mbappe, Bellingham. I mean, what we're feeling about that sort of mid-range.
We could probably have a look here at Real Madrid. They're all the players that we know so far. No Rodrigo. Obviously, his future still. We don't know what's happening there. Trying to think other players who are in there. Obviously, we lost a lot of that midfield presence with Modric, with Kroos.
We've got Tchouaméni, Camavinga.
Yeah, they're usually quite good.
Lower end.
Carvajal.
Usually David Alaba is an 85, 86. Usually Carvajal, you mentioned.
Militao. He's usually very good.
So I think we have lost like that 85, 86 range. Like, for example, Trent, unless passing is absolutely incredible, Trent's just not going to feature.
I'd even wonder, like, Rudiger. I don't know if it's having that 79 pace, but like you compare him to like Pacho, I think is probably a good example. I feel like people are going to be drawn that way with the 80 pace, even though it's only one pace difference down to 79. But
It's a psychological thing, isn't it?
it really
People
is.
want 80 plus pace.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but I have on a lot of the stats the acceleration to sprint speed on a lot of players this year. I don't know if it's by design or by what we're looking at. But even Haaland, let's take for example, low acceleration, super high sprint speed. And I don't know if that is part of the lowering down the power curve, because the acceleration, when you talk about like a sprint boost, that is the thing that will accelerate and get you away.
Mm.
It's lower for a lot of players. Haaland looks pretty legit, I've got to say. I think if you want that just striker in the box who's going to finish everything, when you look a little bit deeper into his stats, he's only got 91 shooting, but he's got 94 finishing, 94 shot power, 95 attack positioning. He's going to be, I don't want to say a fox in the box. He's going to be more of a mountain in the box plute, and I think we're going to see, especially with low driven plus, Haaland causing problems.
I think that's a game changer. The fact that he's got low driven, because he used to have acrobatic plus, which it wasn't the most overpowered play style in the world. Low driven plus is definitely going to be a game changer. And I think, again, early game, I love having a striker where when they get in behind, they can hold off the centre-backs. Like Haaland's going to have that physicality. And as you can tell by the 92 sprint speed, when he gets ahead of people, no one's getting in behind him and tackling him.
Enforcer as well.
He'll be good.
Yep. Enforcer, game changer, as two of the new play styles come into Haaland.
Let's have a quick look at Enforcer. What would we do without FUTBIN, eh? Let's have a quick look. There you go.
So this is a physical attacker who is known for controlling the ball through shielding and initiating
perfect.
contact.
He's going straight in my team.
As well as Haaland, there's another striker who's got Enforcer Plus,
Wow.
and that is Victor Gyökeres. Now we've seen the stats, Matt. We've seen the play styles. Where would you... This is not financial advice, but if people need a Premier League striker, where would you be advising them to go? Gyökeres or Haaland? Or, and I'm sure we'll get to him, Alexander Isak, who got a big upgrade to 88 rated as well.
Do you know what? I think Enforcer Plus, because it's the new sort of big premium attacking play style, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Isak's got finesse, isn't he, Rich, as well? I think
he's got finesse, power shots, and low driven.
Yeah, so Gyökeres is...
He looks really good, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I think he could be Haaland. He could be more than Haaland.
I think so. I think Haaland's got... I mean, he always had... What did he have last year? Was the PlayStation Plus? It was power. Was it power shot?
He had power shot. The year
Acrobatic.
before he had acrobatic, I think.
So
yeah.
low driven now is... I think people view that as more of a premium playstyle plus. So, yeah, I think you're going to have three very, very, very strong Premier League striker options. Both of them, I don't think they're going to be too much. You know, obviously when you got more options, the prices tend to be a little bit lower across the board. So I would imagine most of those guys are going to be sort of around maybe 300 to 500k.
We're just looking at the Prem here. We're just looking at the Premier League for players. We'll disregard the goalkeepers, because obviously we've got Donnarumma now, who I think probably will be a lot of people's go-to in the early game at least. When you're just looking at strikers in particular, there is Gyökeres, there's Isak, there's Haaland. Not to downplay the Premier League this year, but I don't know if there's a quality in these teams offensively to warrant going that way. Obviously, we've not seen all the 83, 84s, which are usually like, I don't know if Chiesa last year, just outstanding in the early game. We've not seen someone like a Marmoush, for example, who might be 84, 85 rated with an incredible set of stats, or Ekatike. These are players that will probably 15, 20k that will sneak in. But these premium players, I want to say, I don't know if offensively it's worth going this route if you've got a lot of coins.
I think, yeah, they're not going to be the guys that, outside of a select few, your Van Dijks, maybe Isak, maybe Salah, they're not going to be, you're not going to have like a full Prem team at the top level. You might have two or three, and then you build in, the Madrid guys, PSG fullbacks, that sort of thing. I do think, though, Premier League is really, really well set as that sort of mid-tier level. So, you've built your starter team, but then that sort of secondary jump, if you can't quite afford, the Van Dijk level, maybe sort of Konate is in there, midfield.
I think these two here.
Yeah, Reinders, Tonali. I mean, that's perfect sort of FUT Champs week 1 team, isn't it?
Bruno Guimaraes as well, getting a nice upgrade to 86. I actually think in the middle of the park, I think there's quality there. I think Bruno Fernandes, I know we talked about him maybe getting an upgrade. 87 rated is where he's at. Relentless plus, interesting, the play style. He used to be long ball pass for pretty much every year that he had an item. But it was just, I just think it is like, we also don't have, to my knowledge, and I was doing a bit of research on this, any left-sided players.
I think that's the struggle. You look at the Premier League over the years, we used to have prime human Son, we used to have Hazard, for example. Left wing really lacks. I know it's the best league in the world, but we've got so many good right wingers, the likes of Saka, Salah. On the left,
Even Palmer can play off the right mid on Cole Palmer.
That's it.
There's no left-sided player.
Luis Diaz now gone to Bayern.
Yeah,
that was a big one at the start.
Martinelli not got the rating.
Gordon,
Marmouche probably not in there. It's gonna be Willie Gnonto, Plute.
Oh yes, he's a silver.
So yeah, I just think, keep your mind open. I think if you're building teams in this early stage, a lot of people go straight to the Prem, but if you can get a decent amount of Prem, it's almost very similar to real life. Defensively, the Premier League is where you want to be.
Yeah.
Maybe offensively, just have a look around.
I think that's a good point, though, Rich. Before we move on, in terms of where these prices might go early on, you've just said it there. A lot of people gravitate towards the Prem early on. Prices spike. I don't think there's longevity there. So again, not financial advice. Let's make that perfectly clear. But these are the cards that we do see being inflated early on. People move away from once they maybe get a couple of reward sets. So they could be the ones that drop the most in price in those first few weeks.
Yeah, and I think the hype around PSG, and the hype around the Spanish league teams, obviously Real Madrid and Barca, always so good. I think they are sort of a tier above this year, really.
The one area in which I did want to look at left wingers is in the Barclays WSL. You still get chemistry with the Premier League players because there's a few options. Lauren Hemp, I think early game will be outstanding. Rapid plus, great pace, good passing, good dribbling. Rayton, who was really good last year, if you remember correctly. Very, very good item. We've got Chloe Kelly off the right, who I think will be very good stats-wise and ability-wise. There's a real good set of potential here, Matt, when it comes to the WSL.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually just looking at that Leah Williamson.
Yep.
Anticipate 88 defending. Again, 5'7" as a centre-back, especially with enforcer play styles, probably, might be not the best, but as a DM.
But if you think, enforcer's not, to my knowledge, in the air, it's holding up the wall. Yeah, so if I've got anticipate, I would expect if I press that circle button to be hopefully nipping in front of you and winning the ball back.
Very true. Obviously very good, agility balance for a centre-back at this early stage of the game.
Reactions, fantastic. Yeah. Great defending. I think a lot of people don't necessarily look deep in these ratings. They see the top layer stuff. They see an 89 rated Lamine Yamal or whatever it may be, but I think there is some real quality across the board.
Mariona, 89 rated. That's just surely look at those play styles. Well, incisive, long, tiki-taka, inventive, technical first touch with relentless 93 stam. If that's me, that's going straight in my midfield.
there's just not a position for her, in my opinion. Because I looked at this. If that was Cam, not CDM, I'm there. I'm locked in.
You wouldn't play her as centre mid in a 3?
Can't remember the last time I played a 3.
Okay.
That's the thing, yeah. It's tough.
I like my. I mean, a lot of the time I play 4-2-3-1. So I have my 2 DMs. Could she be one of those DMs? Like if I played a winner, a ball winner, and then had her as like a deep line playmaker, I think that's quite a good shout. Again, we see Relentless Plus. It feels like a lot of players have got Relentless Plus this year.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think in early game that will help as well. The Relentless Plus.
Go on, Matt.
5'5", technical, 90 dribbling with those stats.
5-star, 5-star. Didn't even see that.
4-star, 4-star.
Oh no, my bad.
I'm gonna get the hair as well, the eyes as well as the hair.
You were on about you were on about the height. 5'5". I thought you meant 5-star,
Okay.
5-star.
We're going to take a very, very short break in terms of the ratings for now. And a lot of questions get asked, Matt, about the start of the game.
Yes.
What should we do at the start of the game? How do we start our accounts? We've got about 2 weeks to go before the game launches. We've got probably under a week before the web app comes out. What are Mr. Matt Foot Trading's top tips for starting FC26 and making sure you are best prepared for the launch of the game?
Good stuff. First one for me, when you load up, when you are selecting your club, your kits, make sure you're selecting top clubs that have rare kits, because you can quick sell them. Initially get a couple thousand coins, you can do some damage on the market. That's the first one. Second one, objectives. If you look in there, there are some very, very simple objectives you can do. Change your club name, assign a manager, sign a contract. You can get a few coins that way and some packs early on. Those are probably my 2 sort of big ones for like the first things to do. Once you've done that, obviously, early SBCs, get those done with all your bronzes and silvers. Don't discard those early on. That would be my big ones. But yeah, those would be my top 3. Kits, objectives, starter SBCs.
There you go. We're in a great place. Plu, there's a lot of players who we've looked at. Who are you most excited for? Like, I know you get some good teams. I know you get some good packs. Who do you think is someone that you think I fancy a bit of that?
Well,
I mean, Yamal 89 rated is serious.
Yeah, well, look, you see the Barcelona shirt there behind me, and I'm a Leeds fan, so for me, it's obviously Rafinha. Like,
yeah,
I've I love Rafinha at Leeds. I used to use him even when he was like 83, 84 rated. What he's gone on to do is crazy now. He's got an 89 rated card. Him and Yamal, they're the players I want to get my hands on. And going back to your point earlier about PSG winning the Champions League, how that added a little rating boost. I always think, what if with these Barcelona players, like what if they somehow snuck through and won that Champions League? They just missed out to Inter Milan in the semis. We could be looking at a 90 rated Rafinha, which would be crazy to me. But I'm still happy with that card. He's the man I'm most excited for, and he will be the player that I'm building my team around 100%. You know what I'm like? I'm a FIFA point merchant. I'll buy loads of FIFA points. I'll try and pack him. That'll be my plan.
Again, 89 rated, Matt. I'll say it again. When you, this was one that I actually looked into the stats and had a deeper dive. I'm not sure how this is 89 rated.
Yeah, there's only, if my math is correct, there's only, 3 stats? Maybe
stamina.
4 with attacking positioning that are 89 or higher.
Yeah, his pace, his attack position, and his stamina.
I'm going to say it. Maybe playstyles have an impact. Because rapid, quick step, finesse.
Trickster, fake shot.
Trickster? I'm quite sure he has Trickster, as much as I love him. But yeah, the rest of the playstyle's very good.
Yeah, I think it. I don't tend to get too hung up on the overalls. I think the overalls might only be an insight as to how difficult they are to pack, most of all. And yeah, I think as well, if that was an 87 or an 86, I don't think too many people would be sort of questioning that. I think 89, yeah, maybe just a reference to how difficult that might be to pack early on.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout.
Do we think
Sorry,
we're going to see a lot of this combination as the two wingers?
I don't know. Again, I just think there are better options. Yamal, I'm very happy to see him so high rated. Got to remember, he's still only 18. The highest rated 18-year-old we've seen in FC in terms of goals. I think the second highest is Mbappe and like FIFA 18, 19, something like that. He was only 83 rated. So, Yamal in 2-3 years' time, we're going to be pushing 92 ratings the way he's going. You never know. But I just think he's going to be a fun card. I don't think he's going to be meta when you compare Rafinha, Yamal to the likes of Dembele and Mbappe. I don't think they're going to be as good as those.
I just went by Barcelona. There's 15 items here. There's one item which is just you're going to see more than any other. And for me, it's right here in Frenkie de Jong. He always features.
I thought you were going to go one above and say Patrick Vieira.
Let's not forget how good Patry was at the start of last year. She was incredible.
I think she'll be, because 89, to me, 89 is premium. Yeah. Like, that's an expensive item, just in my mind. And I know it doesn't work like that, but I think De Jong, especially with Tiki Taka Plus, with those one-frame passes, I'm already looking at him and the Reinders as my two centre-mids, both with Tiki Taka, and just playing through people. And that I would love that. Nothing more. There was one more player that I wanted to look at before we stop on the ratings, and it was arguably the best player of all time. He's down at a 86 rated, Lionel Messi. And the biggest thing for me when I looked at this item was his playstyle plus. Tiki Taka Plus.
Wow. Didn't expect it.
What's going on here?
Get him in at cam.
I mean,
he's still got the stats of a great cam.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think everyone can agree it's sad to see that Messi and Ronaldo are now, 40 years old, 38 years old. And, they're lower rated, but they're still going to be fun cards. Ronaldo's still going to have absolutely crazy shooting. Messi's still going to have incredible playmaking and shooting. But I am quite shocked by that playstyle, I have to say. Tiki Taka Plus, yeah.
I actually think this is quite a meta item, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I think if you can get him in, if you're playing a 4-2-3-1, or you're playing something where the cam is integral in the build-up, he's got great shooting, he's got finesse silver, incisive silver, game changer, he can pass, he's got tiki-taka, he can dribble still, he's got quick steps, so he'll be quick off the mark.
Yeah. 84 acceleration.
The only thing that's going to ruin him is the stamina. You could probably only play 60, 75 minutes with him. But I actually think there's a world in which this Messi will be used a decent amount, because he's not going to be expensive. He'll be cheap.
Yeah.
Mate, I'll be using him 100%. Like you say, use him to the 60th, 70th minute and that number 10 role maybe. And then bring on your super subs who are going to, have all the pace. I like that card. I do. He's got dead ball, which could be really helpful in terms of if free kicks are OP. Like you say, quick steps, technical, incisive. I'm always going to use Messi. He could be bronze. I'd still use him.
Could be the last ever Messi walkout.
Could be, which is sad to see. But
I'm going to start tearing up.
It's age. It's age, lads.
The other player that... There's one more player. I feel like I've said that a lot. Speaking of Argentines, Julian Alvarez, huge upgrade.
Love
I don't know. Playstyles wise, we only got two. This threw me off a little bit, because I think a lot of people are looking at this item face value and saying, great player, great striker. Stats said, we've heard for a long time, Matt, stats are important this year. He's got the stats to be incredible. Great shooting, really good passing, really good dribbling, good physicality, good pace. The lack of play styles do just worry me after playing FC25, where the only thing that mattered was play styles.
Yeah. I mean, you'd almost look at those stats and say, how is he not higher overall?
Absolutely.
The amount of 88s in there, it's ridiculous. But yeah, to be honest, this would kind of be my sleeper pick of someone to go for early on, because I don't think this is going to be a massively expensive card. But I think, could quite easily be sort of like the 50, 60k mark. I don't think he pushes 100k because of the play styles. Links wise, yes, there are some good sort of low level Atletico links. Thinking like maybe Llorente, and that could be the way to go early on. But I don't know. I think those playstyles, as you say, Rich, will put a lot of people off. I think this is a really, really good pickup early on. Obviously 87, so the fodder value of that kind of puts his ceiling a little bit higher, and or his floor a little bit higher in terms of how low he can really go. So
there you go. Matt Foot Trading's top pick.
Yeah,
Julian Alvarez. Clip it. Send it in. That's where we're going.
I love how you think, Matt. It's funny looking into your inside. Like you really, you know your stuff. I love it.
It'll end up being like $500,000 now, and I'll get the blame. So
yeah, if playstyles aren't OP and it really is purely based on stats, it'll be crazy. But we'll see. It's interesting.
I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. Pluto, I've got a couple of questions about your account this year. Obviously a big Leeds fan. Are we going Evos? How are we playing?
Yeah, I tend to build like a champs-worthy team, and then I'll have an Evo team on the side with my Leeds players. I really enjoyed the Evo grind last year. I'm glad they're bringing goalkeepers into it. For me, I like, you mentioned Willie Nonto earlier. He's one of my favourite Leeds players. He's a 74 rated silver. He could have some crazy Evos over the next few months, and that's what I'll do. I'll build a Leeds Evo team on the side along with my main team. I look forward to that.
We had one more little bit of content that came out. This was last week. We couldn't really align things last week, so we took a week off, regenerated, coming back for FC26. There was a vote for a hero. I think it was 3 Bayern Munich previous players. The players were Effenberg, Pizarro, and Elba, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Over at FUTBIN, we put a poll up on Instagram how the FUTBIN community voted for their FC Bayern hero in FC26. Elba got 33% of the vote. Effenberg got 18%. And Pizarro got 48% of the vote. I personally would have liked Effenberg. I think out of the three, he's probably the one that most likely to feature in my team. 2-part question. Plute, are you on the Effenberg train?
Maybe I'm just showing my age, but I have memories of using Stefan Effenberg as a Xbox legend in my FIFA 17 and 16 teams, and he was so good. This was like, we're talking 8 years ago now, but yeah. I used to have him as a box-to-box midfielder in my FUT Champs team. I think it was FIFA 17, and mate, I loved him. One of my most underrated players ever, so he would get my vote. He would, but
yeah, got my vote as well. And then I suppose, Matt, the follow-up question, do you think this is just a one-off campaign, or do you think we'll potentially see more partnered clubs or clubs that are recently into the fold? I know Bayern, I think this is the first year we've got the stadium in a little while back in the game. I would love to see more of this. Man United come out and do a thing and say, Gary Neville, I don't know, Chicharito, or
love that.
Michael Carrick.
Valencia.
Pick three. Like, pick one of them. I would love to see this more. So it feels like, because again, we're 2 weeks away, we've seen quite a decent amount, and we've got no new heroes. Is this how we're going to get them?
I wouldn't rule it out. I think in the last few years, we've had more and more cards being released mid-cycle. Last year, obviously, Gervinho, Ibarbo, Doumbia. So Maradona, yeah, exactly. So I think, wouldn't rule it out at all for some of these polls. It's just really nice to see, isn't it, that we're getting a bit of a say in this. I thought Effenberg would have done a little bit more in the vote, the more nostalgia route, as you say, Plute, with the past legend cards. But I think Pizarro is a solid.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see, people actually voting. Like, I would have said that Effenberg was like the most popular. But again, I'm just showing my age. Maybe the younger community want these other players, and sometimes I'm wrong. Do you know what I mean?
I think people just looked, who's a striker? Which is the striker out of the three?
Probably.
Click.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Let us know down below, by the way, if your club were to do a vote, who would you want? I'm going to put you on the spot, Plute. 3 Leeds players in a vote. Who would you fancy? Who would you like to see in the game?
I mean, the first player I can think of that I would love to have, and I think he deserves a hero card, would be Mark Viduka. Also, I think for the Australians as well, I think that would be great to see another Aussie hero. I think Viduka was, he's our top goal scorer in the Premier League back from those glory days, and I'd love to see him as a hero. Who else? I've got to look back to that team, I guess. Dom Matteo. Love Dominic Matteo. I know probably not the most, he's definitely well known within the Leeds community. I'd love to see him as a centre-back. What else have we got? Lee Bowyer. At one stage, I saw a graphic the other day of, I think, ratings from like 2002, and Lee Bowyer was the same rating in 2002 as R9 Ronaldo. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That's 2002 prime R9 where you had the haircut.
Yeah, and Lee Bowyer was the same rating because I think he scored like 10 Champions League goals that year or something crazy from midfield. What a player.
Oh, jeez, what a Lee Bowyer. That's a serious throwback, and do you know what? That's what I'm here for. That's why I do this. To start my
Viduka for
day.
me. Viduka hero. I need a campaign. I would love it as a Leeds United fan.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think with a World Cup year, I think maybe we're going to get items released sporadically throughout the year, building up to a World Cup with what's coming up next year. Matt, we're going to wrap up because we're on a tight schedule. Any final bits of tips, tricks for people with their time that we've got coming up for next week? And also, I asked Plute who he's most excited to get his hands on. FC26. Who are you? I know you're not a big spender. Any of those high-rated players you fancy a look at?
Ooh. Let's go with some tips and things to do for next week. One thing that I always say ahead of Web App Day, for you guys that absolutely 100% want to get in, need to get in, make sure you have your backup codes from your EA profile and EA account on lock. I see so many people every year, they try and get in, server overload, they can't get in, so have those to hand. That'll be my top tip. In terms of players that I'm excited for, I'm going to try and get every single Charlton player first owner for the Evo grind. So if you see me spending 2 million coins on bronze packs, that's why. Don't question it. Just
ignore it.
We'll have weekly updates here on the pod as to how we're getting on. No, those are my big ones, but we need teams for Gauntlet now, so I'll have to build a meta team at some point. So I think I'm going to go first owner though, Rich. So
there we go. First owner.
We'll leave it in the hands of the EA gods.
First owner, Leeds, Sweat.
There you go, a bit of everything. That's it. That's the beauty of Ultimate Team. Play it how you want. Do you know what I mean?
Lock us in. Just ignore me when you see a front three of Mbappe, Yamal, and Rafinha. Just let me do what I want to do. But thank you very much, Plute, for coming on. I know you've got a very busy day ahead, but where can people find you as we get into FC26 if they want to see a little bit more of the Plute?
Plute93 across all socials. I stream on Twitch. I make YouTube content. Mostly TikTok, Plute93. Come say hello. Don't be shy. We're all friends. Thank you.
Man. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the podcast and also future FUTBIN content. And let us know down below, who are you most excited to use on FC26? The release is only a couple of weeks away. We'll see you next week for another episode of the FUTBIN Pod. Have a great day, guys.